Hey, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday Notary Titans. My name is Jen Neitzel. Today is Tuesday, February 27th. We are at month end again. We just blinked from January, and here we are at February. Laura Biewer and I are thrilled to be hosting you on Tuesday Notary Titans today. I want to ask if you're able to, please turn your camera on. You might see, you guys might be able to tell I'm in a different location today. And I am at my social media manager's place and we're doing some filming. So if you see somebody walking behind me with a camera and you have your camera on, wave. Maybe you'll end up on my social media. You never know, right? We're going to hop right into it today. You guys know how this call works. It's like an old-fashioned radio call-in show where you raise your digital hand and ask the experts. That would be the one and only Laura Biewer and myself. Laura, why don't you come on and say hi to everybody?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Even in California, it's afternoon. Welcome. If it's possible you don't know me, I am Laura from Coach Me Laura, and my mission is to help develop confident and competent notaries. Lots of ways that I do that. And a couple things I want to announce right in the beginning of this call. Let me see, how are we doing on people? One is that if you're not aware, Bill and I co-authored a book called Beyond Loan Signings, right? What do you do besides loan signings? And in doing so, it has really helped people jump into other streams of revenue. And I would love if you have not had an opportunity to take a look at that. It's available on Amazon. And what I'm looking for today is if you already purchased it, either Kindle or the hard copy, you have not given a review yet because you didn't finish reading it. Please, if you would take a moment to put a review on Amazon for what you read so far. And I am only 3 reviews short of 100, and 100 is a really important number. That number helps the algorithms to recommend the book to other people. The name of the book, again, is Beyond Loan Signings. And there's a link there. It's at Amazon. Bill and I co-wrote that and released it last May. So if you haven't bought it, you might want to think about that. But if you have, my request is for you, my request for support. If you would please write an honest review so I can get those last 3 done, I'd appreciate it.
3 more to go. Wow, that's awesome, Laura. And that book, you guys, if you haven't read that book, you need to read that book. It is incredible. It's a great guide to how you can monetize your notary commission. And that's why we're all here today, right? To learn different tips and tricks to make our business thrive. And Laura and I are thrilled to bring that to you. So raise your digital hand if you have any questions. And while you guys are doing that, I want to make one more quick announcement. You may have noticed we have made some changes to Tuesday Notary Titans. We've been inviting some special guests to come on and speak. And today we have a very special guest that's going to be joining us in about 15 minutes. She's going to be talking to us about becoming a certified in the reverse mortgage field. And her name is Nina Penny. She is part of our Notary Business Builder faculty. And I'm really excited for you guys to get to know her today, meet her, and learn a little bit more about what she does inside Notary Business Builder to help you grow your business. One last thing before we get into questions, Boo, thank you for your patience. I want to say we have made another policy change on TNT, and that is if you would like to advertise your product in the TNT chat, and that's every Tuesday to an audience of normally over 100 notaries at the height of the call. We would love for you to do that, but you have to be on Notary Business Builder's Innovator Spotlight. If you would like to become someone who is able to advertise their business on the TNT call, we would love to do that for you and leverage our email list and get you out there talking about your business and the other things that you do besides being a notary. Maybe you have an Etsy store where you sell notary t-shirts. Maybe you have an Etsy store where you sell homemade blankets. That's fine too. We want to highlight everything you do because we're so much more than just notary publics, but you must be part of the Innovator Spotlight. I'm going to post some information about that in just a moment. Laura and I are running this call today by ourselves, so it takes us a minute to get those things in the chat. But Laura, while I do that and get these links in the chat for everybody, would you go ahead and start the call with Boo?
I will, but Boo, hold on a moment, because really I needed to say a couple more things.
Oh, sure.
One is, because I think we're far enough along in, if any of you have received an email, there has been a recent email phishing scam for California notaries, particularly. So watch out for that. And what it's saying is, hey, Ron is legal now in California. Get your platform. Go ahead and get in there and get started. It is not legal until at soonest 2030. We're in the year 2024. So we've still got a long ways to go. Don't be spending your money. If you want to facilitate any kind of Ron, you don't need a platform. You need to have relationships with notaries in states where Ron is legal. Okay, it's not legal for us as a notary. It's legal for a resident of California to use a Ron notary who's in another state. We are not that notary. So watch out for that phishing scam, because they just want to get your information and maybe your money. All right. And then the last thing now is I want to announce that many of you are members of Laura Biewer Presents that are on this call today, or you may be a double winner and you're also a member of NBB. In either case, there's a new call. Sorry, dogs are seeing something going on there. There's a new call scheduled for tomorrow at 9 a.m. And it's going to be part 2 of Homeowner Association Inspector of Elections. And I'll be diving deeper, because the research I found is that there's at least 27 other states that can do this. It's not just California. California has a specific act, but I found the acts for the other states, and we're going to talk about that, as well as any pitfalls and how do I build my fee schedule for this kind of thing. So if you are a member of NBB or LBP, this call is free for you. For anybody who is not, then if you want to participate in that, you just need to buy the Laura Biewer Presents video library, and we put it on promotion for just $97 right now. You don't need a coupon code. And then not only would you get this call, but the other 12 videos that are in that replay library. So if you're already a member, you will get the link directly. I saw the email today, so you might even have it already. All right, great. Now I've done my 3, and we can start with Boo.
Hi, Laura. Thank you. I have 2 questions. One is, if a client can't decide whether they need an acknowledgement or a jurat, and they say, well, can I have both? They can have both, is my understanding. But when you fill those out, the client doesn't have to have an additional copy of their document to clip that additional jurat or acknowledgement, right? We can clip both of those to the document.
Correct. So the answer is for the state of California. This is not true for other states. In the state of California, a notary may notarize the same signature on the same document 2 different ways. It means 2 different certificates. It means 2 different line entries in your journal, and it means you can charge up to $15 for each one.
Okay, great. Because I asked the NNA this morning, and they told me that you cannot have both of those certificates attached to one document. And I was thinking,
Do you know who? Okay, so you're saying you called the hotline?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will check in with them, but that's not so. We are able to do that, and we do teach it in our mandated training classes.
Great, because I remember hearing that. I just wanted to make sure. Then my
Okay.
second question was, on an apostille where there is a divorce decree that's requested, is the client looking for a certified or an exemplified document that can be apostille with the SOS?
So are you saying you have a marriage certificate?
No, I have a friend who's looking to change her name back to her legal name, and she needs to have a divorce decree. So I said I would help her request that. But she said, I also want to have an extra copy because I'm going to do my dual citizenship and I want to have that apostilled. So I wasn't clear with the city, the county, because it's a superior court where you request a divorce decree. If I should request a certification or certified copy or an exemplified copy to be apostilled. I believe the exemplified copy is the one that has all the dirty details of the final divorce. So, or is this a question really for the receiving party, what they want?
I
guess
think
that's-
it's a question for the receiving party, or I would check the Apostille Survivor's Guide. If you don't have that book, you should. Or Matt, when he's on the call, he would be a good resource as well. But
And
my
where,
first start is I always, if they're not sure what they need, the receiving agency should stipulate, this is what we want.
and both of those can be apostilled by the Secretary of State, exemplified and certified copy.
Well, that depends. The certified one, well, it depends on who's signing it. Who's the public official? If it is a public official on the list at the Secretary of State's office, then the answer is yes. Because remember, they don't really care about the contents of the document. They care about who is certifying that document. And so if their name is on the list, the answer is yes. And if the name is not on the list, then you're going to have to start at a lower level to get their, whether it's notarization or county authentication, depends on who it is.
Okay, well, I guess we'll do a trial and error and see what happens when we request the certified copy, because the exemplified copy was like $50 for a divorce decree. So that
Yeah,
made me
I
think
would
it was
think
the
you
entire
start-
document.
I would start with the certified, as if she's not worried about time wasting, just in case they wanted something else. But that's typically what's requested is the certified on that. And then if it's been certified by, I know a county official, their name is going to be at the Secretary of State's office. We don't notarize that.
Yes, exactly. But I could
Okay.
get it apostilled. Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Del Briggs in Pennsylvania.
Hi, Laura. Thank you. So I had an interesting experience on this past Sunday. I wasn't able to execute the documents, but I wanted to run the scenario by you. I did call the NNA and I also called the Pennsylvania Notary Association to get their take on what I could have done differently. So I've kind of went through all of that. I just thought it'd be something good for others to hear about. It has to do with non-standard, what the PA, what the Pennsylvania Association calls they call it non-standard signatures. So when I got to, so a friend of mine, her father is very ill. She wanted to have some documents notarized. Prior to the appointment, we had discussed his alertness, his ability to be able to speak to the documents that were being notarized, and his ability to sign. So I thought all of that had been worked out in advance, witnesses, etc. So when I got to the hospital, first thing she says to me is, I have to sign for him. I said, well, you cannot sign for him. I said, we had already discussed the process. So she said, well, his hand is too shaky. And he's not really up to it. So I talked to him, asked him, some alertness questions, asked him the purpose of the visit. He understood all of that. And I asked him, was he ready to sign? He said, no. He said, I don't want to feel rushed. I said, no problem. So long story short, we weren't able to do it. But I did talk to her about the possibility of him signing with a mark. My fault was that I didn't have all the information with me to be able to tell her to say exactly how to do it, what we needed to do, and how to document the journal, etc. So I wasn't able to do it. But after talking to the NNA and talking to the PAN, the Pennsylvania Notary Association, they also said they gave me some other options. So they said that one option could have been assisted signing. And the way that it's explained in the book, that we could have gotten someone from the hospital or somebody not related to the case, they could have put the pen in their hand. He would have rested his hand on their hand. and then they would have marked for him. Have you ever heard that before?
I've never heard of that. And I would say, is Pan the one that said they have this
Yeah, it's in
doing it?
it's in their book. Yeah, it's in their
Well,
book.
in their book doesn't mean it's in the handbook. That's the Pan book. Is that what you're saying?
It's in the Pennsylvania Notary Association.
Right.
notary
So
book.
there is an association, just like NNA is an association. They're not the Bible.
Right.
So my question would be, what does the law say?
Okay, the law. Gotcha. Okay.
So
I did
just
look up.
anytime you're dealing with an association, whether it's NNA or PAN or one of the other ones, they do their best to explain the law and to help us understand how to do the job. However, what they print in there may or may not be consistent with what the law says. I have not heard one state, not one. I've heard proxy, and that would be another signer. I don't know off the top of my head if Pennsylvania allows for proxy. If it doesn't, then mark. And the mark can be anything, and it could be a print, like a fingerprint. I've used that for a mark when they can't really handle the pen. That way they don't have this business going on. So the mark might have been a good way to go, assuming you have the protocol in place, you know, 1 or 2 witnesses, whatever the requirement is for mark. A lot of people don't think of a mark with a print. They only think holding the pen.
So I didn't think about the mark with the print. I'm going to put that in my notes. I'll have that as to fall back on. I didn't know that the mark, and this is from what the notary, I think Pan said this too. I don't know if NNA said it, that the mark could have been any mark. I
That's
thought it
right.
had to be an X.
Including a print.
But say it again.
Including a print, any mark.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And I wasn't prepared to even present that as we presented as an option, but I wasn't sure exactly what the mark had to be. I thought it had to be an X.
No.
So I got clarity on Monday that it could be any kind of mark, but I didn't think of a print. So that's really a good one too.
So
And then
the other thing that I want to say about that is, one is I would go back and ask where in the law does it say somebody can assist their hand? I'm not aware that that's okay anywhere. Not that I couldn't be wrong. I could be. I know absolutely not in California, but there could be a state that might have something there, but it better be in the law, not
I
just
can tell.
an association.
I have the law because I did ask for supporting documentation. So they took me right to the state legislation website. It was title, I think it's Title 56, chapter.
Okay, but did it
chapter
just
56, Title 20. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna tell you just tell you really quickly what it says. So it says a signature, a mark, or by another individual on behalf of and at the direction of the principal, if the principal is unable to sign, but specifically directs another person, another individual to sign the power of attorney.
So I hear 2 things. One, that's a proxy. That's not holding their hand. That's another person being told by the principal to sign for them, and specific document, power of attorney only.
Okay.
That's what I hear when I hear your law.
Okay.
I do not hear that I can hold somebody's hand and help them make a signature. That's not what I heard.
That's good. I'm so glad I brought this up. I'm glad I raised this question. Thank you. Thanks for clarification.
You're welcome. And it is good for everybody to know. And the 2 other things that I heard, just to clarify, is if you're going to go out there and do hospital work, know how to do an orientation. I just did a call on that, orient ×4. The second thing is the orient ×4. Oh, that you know what your identification accommodations are and your signature accommodations are before you go, so that you're not stuck there, and because you may not get a second chance to fix it. That's what's so important, is if you're going to do that kind of work, really find this information out so that you are able to offer all the different ways you can assist. So thank you, because that was a great educational moment for everybody.
Yeah, I learned the hard way, unfortunately. So we have another appointment coming up. So I do have another opportunity to get it right.
And now you know. All right, Jen, do you want to add anything?
I don't. That was a great conversation. What I do want to do, Laura, if it's okay with you, is I
Yeah,
want to bring up
do
our
that.
very special guest, Miss Nina Penny. Hi, Nina Penny.
Hello.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about Nina Penny. She is our not only a faculty member in Notary Business Builder, she is also a certified reverse mortgage professional, and she is able to certify other notaries to, she has a training program to teach them how to be a reverse mortgage specialist. And that is what she teaches inside the Notary Business Builder platform. So Nina, thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate it so much. How long have you been working in the certified reverse mortgage space?
So I started doing reverse mortgage probably 2002. And then I became a CRMP in 2016.
So
So a long time.
certified reverse mortgage
Mortgage
professional,
professional.
CRMP.
Mhm.
Okay, I just want to make sure I have it right.
Okay.
So since 2002, so this has
Yeah.
been for a long time. So how has the reverse mortgage market changed in that time? Specifically, you've been through two
Yeah,
market
I've been through two.
busts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'd
You
love to
know,
hear you talk about those two, because it's always fascinates me when Laura talks about her experience in both of those.
it really has. The product has gotten better over the years.
Mhm.
The product in 2002 is not the product it is today. Um, there's been more safeguards for seniors. People still think that this is the reverse mortgage of the 60s, the 70s. And, since President Reagan was in office and pretty much resculpted what the reverse mortgage was, and made it just an FHA loan that you're not obligated to make payments on. You can if you want. So that was the biggest change. But since 2002, every 4 years where we have an election, people worry, so they want to make sure they have cash on hand,
Yeah,
right? Inflation is crazy.
yeah.
People just having a hard time getting by, and we're seeing that. It's other than that, our demographic has been consistent.
Uh-huh.
And
Which
it,
is,
it which is 62, but we also go down to 55.
okay.
And the nice thing about reverse is that now we offer products that we didn't offer, 15 years ago. They're better, and they're much better for the seniors.
So that reputation that they used to have,
Mhm.
and that we still hear people chattering about a little bit, is just old stuff. It's, they've kind of worked out the kinks, because I feel like what we see today, like what you said, is a
Mhm.
much better product than what
It
we
is.
saw. But
Mhm.
how has that lasted through this last bit of bust, I would say, in a mortgage environment? Because a lot of the loan signing agents on the call are like, why would I want to get into reverse mortgage when the regular mortgage market may not be as lucrative,
Mhm.
obviously, as it was over the past couple of years?
Well, so, reverse mortgages, anybody that's on this call who doesn't think that loan signings are going to be coming back this year, I'm going to tell you right now, if you've maybe neglected your title people or something, you really need to get back on it. Somebody else will come in and take your place, because they're going to come back this year. Um, and the product, a lot of people think, well, it does pay a little bit more, but I think primarily you have to love the demographic, right? Some of us
I love that.
love the demographic, and if you love that demographic, then it's a great thing to do.
What's the most important reason for needing to love that demographic so much? There's an understanding that needs to take place. And
I
tell
think
us
we
about
all
the
think about,
tell us about the closing process, is where I'm going with this. It's a
well,
little different.
I think the closing process is that, a lot of times, like, a lot of notaries love to go and start a rapport, maybe a little bit of relationship building with the people they're signing. And, sometimes the senior might go off on a tangent about, I had a woman that was 98 years old, and she had to tell me a story about like the 1930s. And I was intrigued, and I sat there for a long time, right? Um, so, you have to, if you love the demographic, you love learning and talking to, seniors, if you just really also like helping people in retirement years, when we retire, we don't get more money. The only way we get extra money is by reducing debt, right?
Right.
So if you love working with seniors, if you really love that feel good thing, if you understand that reverse mortgage may pay you a little bit more, but it's not, you're not going to sit down and do it in a half an hour.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
not going to happen.
That's kind of where I was going because of the demographic.
Yeah.
And maybe potentially some technology limitations and being a little more thorough with reviewing documents before signing that generation. I feel like they are, the older generation is, that there would be some larger not time constraints. What's the word I'm looking for? But just take a larger amount of time than maybe your
To
average
do.
45 minutes closing that you're
Sure.
used to in the regular
Mhm.
retail mortgage space. So what are your top states? So what are you seeing trend wise, top states for reverse mortgages? Because while they are allowed anywhere, uh,
Right.
that's correct, right? They're allowed
Yeah.
everywhere, right?
They're done in almost every country in the world.
What are your
So,
top states that you see, like top 3 states?
California
Hmm.
is a big one. Arizona,
Yeah.
people are moving to Texas, people are moving to Florida, people are moving to Tennessee, people are moving Nevada,
Mhm.
um, the Carolinas. I mean, you name it, people are moving. Wherever they have lower taxes or lower property taxes, that's where people want to go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where they want to spend their retirement years, right?
It's
So
more affordable.
you are located in Phoenix?
Uh-huh. I'm in Arizona. I handle Arizona, all of Arizona, all of California, and have access to about 14 other states.
How long has your certification training been in place? I mean, it's part of Notary Business Builder, but you've been doing this for a while on your own too. How long have you been certifying notaries in the reverse mortgage field?
I got to tell you, that's something that Bill and I started years ago.
Hmm.
So I'm going to say maybe 5 years. Bill and I have been working on it. Before then, I wasn't a notary.
Yeah,
I met Bill at a signing and we kind of hit it off. And then he came to another one of my signings and it just evolved from there.
that's so cool. I love that because Bill loves to tell the stories about you never know who's sitting across the table from you,
Nope.
and you guys meet at a signing and you end up collaborating
Hmm.
and and creating a certification to help notaries make more money and thrive in their business. I mean,
Yep.
that's amazing.
And a lot
So
of people love it. A lot of people really enjoy it. So if you love the demographic, and if you don't mind, if I can just say, one
sure.
little thing, is that for me, I look at like I'm a loan officer, right? So my specialty is reverse mortgages.
Yeah.
But if Dell says to me, "Hey, Nina, do you know how to do a traditional loan?" I can say, "Sure." Right? It opens up my avenue of money or of making money, right? And
Yeah.
the same thing for people. They like the demographic, learn it. And then if somebody comes to you and says, you know what, I don't have a regular sign, but I have this reverse mortgage, would you like to do it? You can say yes, and you can feel confident that you can handle it. We're
Yeah.
professionals, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, Laura and I are both big believers in certifications and
Hmm.
the deep training that it teaches. And it creates just that other level, I think, in notaries, it creates that other level of confidence from the public that you know how
Hmm.
to handle these specific types of documents because
Yep.
everybody knows reverse mortgage is different than a regular old mortgage, right? So you've
Hmm.
got to have that training. And a lot of it too, I think, and I love how you do this in your program is talking about that demographic and how it's a little different than, sitting at closing a table across from 2 40-year-olds, let's say,
Hmm.
right? Or maybe of your generation or a little younger. So Well, the other thing I wanted to ask you, I hear you have two cute little dogs.
I do.
Are they Biewer Terriers?
They are. They're Biewer Terriers.
Did everybody
One,
on this call know that Laura Biewer has a whole dog line
Yep.
named after Biewer Terriers? It's
I was
spelled.
really hoping that one of them was going to come in. Yes, I have two Biewer Terriers. One is a show dog, and she was number 3 in the country, and she made it to Westminster, but she came down with an illness and couldn't go. But she's beautiful, and yeah, who would have known?
That is so exciting.
Um,
Because I told Laura that that's my next dog that I want to get as a Biewer Terrier someday.
Really,
I
they're
love that.
adorable. They're
I'll name it
totally
Goat.
adorable.
You'll name it Goat. Nina,
Yeah.
I heard that you don't just own your own dogs, but you do a lot of rescue or help in that community, dogs that need help. Are there specific organizations you're involved in? You're just doing it on your own?
I just do it on my own. There's bionic pets. I saw this thing on TV and I was just blown away by it. And so I got involved with them and I helped them. For dogs that maybe can't walk or need prosthetics, stuff like that, or just
Yeah.
normal, little, every shelter needs food, right?
Right?
So any way I can help pets, I do. I kind of love them.
Love that.
So,
That is very special. Thank you for helping the pets that need it. But Nina, thank you so much for your certification. Nina's your program, your website. It is in the chat if you guys want to go check that out. Her contact information is on there if you want to reach out to Nina and find out more about her program. And of course, more about Notary Business Builder. We would love to have you that's notarycoach.com/NBB. I'll put the link in the chat in just a moment. But Nina, would you hang out with us in case anybody has questions they want to ask
I'd
you?
love to. Sure. Yeah,
Awesome.
that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So if you guys want to ask Nina, now is the time. Raise your hand if you have any questions for her about anything having to do with the certified reverse mortgage training program or that business line. This is a great time to ask. Just raise your digital hand. In the meantime, we're going to get back to our questions because Janet has been so patient and waiting. Thank you, Jeanette, excuse me, for waiting.
Hi, how you doing? Thanks for my question. I'm from Michigan, and I have a question pertaining to loose certificates when it comes to staple or paper clip. I called NNA, and they told me always to staple, but I thought I had seen about never staple anything. Do you have any thoughts, or anybody can direct?
Laura, do you have anything you want to start with?
So, Jeanette, in California, the word is stapled. There has been, besides the law, then there are what are called administrative rules, meaning the Secretary of State has looked at something, their legal department, and said, attached means this. And they came out and published a newsletter, and in it, they said, attached means stapled. Now, that doesn't mean all 50 states said the same thing, although you would think that's what it might mean. And that probably, I know when you're doing just a few documents at a time, that's usually what we do. However, we do product called loan signings, where you got 160, 200 pages. And we've been asked not to staple because they have to scan all those documents and they'd have to take all those staples out one at a time. And we might have 10 or 12 notarizations in there. So some notaries, the practice is staple everything except loan signings. And that's my practice, is I staple everything except loan signings. If you want to know what Michigan says in terms of interpreting what does attached mean, then you need to call your own Secretary of State and ask that question at that level.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Great answer. Thank you so much. Nancy McCain, what is your question for us today? I think you had a question for Nina.
I did not have a question for Nina. What I have for Nina is a huge shout out. She is thebomb.com.
Yes,
So
she is.
anybody who wants to take her course, do, because it's not only thorough, she's just so accessible and knowledgeable, and I just wanted to say how much I appreciate her. I actually got my first reverse mortgage signing
Congratulations.
tomorrow. We'll see if it's really congratulations if I come out scathed. But anyway, I think Nina is just what a great asset to the NBB group.
Thank you. I
thank you.
agree. I agree.
Yes,
Let us know how that
Lauren.
goes. And I know you're going to do amazing because you went through Nina's program. So.
Yes, I feel very confident. And I want to also give a shout out to my friend Kathy Sally, who's on this call, but she's not pictured here. She's the bomb.com as well. Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy.
You are welcome.
Karen Falls, what is your question for us today?
Hi, my name is Carlin Falls.
Arlen, sorry, I
Can you,
mispronounced your
okay,
name.
that's okay, no problem. I just had a question. One question was for Nina. Hi, Nina.
Hi.
How much is your course?
Well,
For-
it's in the NBB. So if you're an NBB member, it's in there for you to go and enjoy.
Oh, okay, I'll have to check
free.
that out because I
Yeah,
am not.
it's included in the package.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, and that's notarycoach.com/NBB.
Yes.
Okay, I'll check that out.
And
I'm
we have
not
a live
member.
call on Thursdays. On Thursdays, we have a live call at 1 o'clock Arizona time right now. We won't have it this week because this is the end of the month, but we'll have it next week. And you're more than welcome to come on and enjoy the call with us.
Thank you.
You're
And my
welcome.
last question is, I'm new to notary signing, and I'm always reaching out and doing whatever I can to participate in a signing. I currently do just general notary for a law firm that I work with in the daytime. My concern is I think my work schedule is causing an issue because although I get the text messages, there's always a time conflict. So I'm wondering, are there not signings on the weekends or after 4?
That's a great question, Carlin. And I'll tell you something, and I'm going to use myself and Laura as an example. We work in the field. Laura, I think, more so than myself, regular hours, like 9 to 5 hours. I don't want to work after 4. Or 5. I don't want to work on the weekends. And so I love meeting notaries like yourself that work after hours. Because while I'm doing it full time, you doing it part time allows me to still meet my customers' needs by referring you for a time slot that I don't want to take, So I think for that reason, I know a lot of notaries have started out doing just after hours and weekends, and been very successful with that. Laura, do you have anything you want to add?
I want to say that I happen to get requests for appointment times after 5 o'clock frequently because other people are working, as well as Sunday is my busiest day of the week. Those typically are going to be hospital assignments on that day. So they're out there. And like Jen said, I don't always want to be jumping out for those. So I refer those to other notaries.
Right, and I would actually I would welcome the opportunity because my struggle is trying to figure out how can I get the necessary experience that I need as a notary signing agent. I have all the studying, I participate in the Zoom, so I have all of that in my brain, but it doesn't work unless you actually get out there and apply it.
So let me tell you, Carlin, you have to get out and start marketing your business. You just have to. And you also have to get out there and you have to start meeting other notaries. And letting them know that you are available on nights and weekends when they may not want to work. Those aren't their business hours. Other notaries are not your competition. And I'm saying that to everybody on this call. Other notaries in your community can be referral partners, can be friends that understand what it is, what it takes for a notary entrepreneur to build a business. There's somebody that speaks your language. Always, Cynthia. Yes, ma'am. She just posted in the chat, collaboration always over competition. That is leading with integrity. So if you meet other notaries who look at you, Carlin, and they say, why would I want to be friend? Why would I want to spend time getting to know other notaries? Those aren't the notaries you want to spend time with. You need to find notaries that understand collaboration over competition and let them know, hey guys, I can fill in the gaps, and start building relationships there with those other notaries in your community. It takes time to build relationships. So get out there and start planting some seeds and watering them regularly. What I mean by that is following up with folks regularly. And then you also, Carlin, you want to get out and start networking and letting people know in your community that you have started a business that for now is going to be working between, 5 and midnight or whatever hours you choose, and on the weekends, and start spreading seeds around the community that you are a notary expert that they can turn to when they need it. And you have whatever certifications that you have as well. Because you said you've done, all the learning opportunities, but you've got to get out there and you've got to start marketing, networking, leveraging social media. And if you want some guidance with that, I have a solution for you, and I'm going to put it in the chat right now because I have a whole website dedicated to this.
Oh, awesome.
And it's
Well,
only,
Jen is-
it's a great entry point for newer notaries that are getting started and looking for ways to market their business. This is not some kind of like crazy new technology I invented. It's just good old fashioned marketing tactics. That I pieced together when I was building my business. And I teach you a whole 5-point marketing system, Carlin, that's going to help you get out there, learn to get past that fear you feel when it comes to networking and building relationships, kind of how to get out of your own way,
Now, did
So
you put
take
the
a look at
link up
that.
there? Did I miss
Sorry?
it? Did you put the link up
I
already, or did I?
did.
Yes,
I
you just
did. It's called
Oh,
Marketing for Notaries.
oh, gotcha.
And the link is in the chat, and
Okay.
it's only $20 a month. It's
Okay.
priced for the newer notary, and to help you realize really what it takes to market, because you have to get out there in your community. Nobody's going to build your business for you unless you pay them like 10 to 20 grand a month to do that,
Yeah, right.
which I'm assuming you don't have, because I mean, like, that's a lot of money.
I can't afford that. And I see someone asked what state I'm in. I'm in the state of California.
Nice.
All right, Carlin, I want to come back to the apply, because Jen just addressed the marketing part and getting you visible. But what you said in the beginning of your question was, hey, I took all this learning, but unless I actually can do one, how can I say I know what I'm doing? And
Yeah,
I highly recommend you consider doing a mock signing. So that means you grab
yes,
documents. It might be from the certification you took, if it was NNA, or from Bill.
it was
And
NNA.
you find somebody, another notary would be perfect, but if not, it could be a spouse or somebody else. And you actually practice presenting the documents, collecting the signatures, filling out the journal, so that it rolls off your tongue and you start to have a feel of the rhythm, because there is a rhythm to this, between presenting, collecting signatures, filling out journal. There's a rhythm to that. Now, and you can do that on your own. And I'd say you need to do it at least 4 or 5 times so that you get that pattern down. I do, if you don't have anybody, I do mock signing calls with notaries. That's on my website, and I do it via Zoom. And I show you how to confirm with your borrower, how to present those documents, how to build a rhythm that makes you efficient during your signing, how to handle your completion, and then some visibility stuff. So, for free, you could just do it on your own. But if you want any assistance with that, that's something I help notaries with.
Yeah, I would really appreciate that. I could take advantage of that.
So that's
And
at coachmelora.com.
I just put that in the
Got
chat
it?
for you,
Mhm.
Carlin. Yep.
And
So
just
Okay,
look
great.
for mock signing at the table. And that's all I do. I don't certify anybody. It's really all about, I'm already certified. I want practice. I want to know, how would you introduce that? What do I say? When I'm on the phone with a borrower, what are the questions I need to be checking on before I jump in the car to go there?
Right. And I mean, I'm totally confident. I mean, I even dream about it, but the opportunity is not there. So it's like,
Okay.
what will happen when I do get the opportunity to do an actual signing?
Carlin, do you have a Google business profile set up?
No, I've tried to do that. I don't understand what the problem is. I'm doing something wrong. And I've been just doing everything and researching everything to the point to where I'm starting to feel a little, I'm losing my something is leaving, and I
So-
don't want it to because I really want to do this.
Yeah. What I could see you have the fire in you. And when I hear somebody say that they're not even scared, that lights me up. I love that because I
I'm
talk to so
totally
many
not
notaries
scared.
about, having to like kind of coach them to get out of their own way and stop being scared and to get out there. But if you're not, like, you're so far ahead of the curve. That's amazing. So you want to act on that. And the absolute best thing you can do, there's two ways for you to build. This goes for anybody on the call. There's two ways proven that you can build a successful business, and that's building relationships. That's getting out there and networking. That's getting with not only other notaries, but the general public, going to different networking meetings, meeting different businesses, spreading the word about you and your name. And the other thing is your online presence, and that's Google Business Profile. So figure out what's going on there. Get somebody on the phone, hire an expert, watch YouTube videos, figure that out so that you can get your Google Business Profile optimized. And that is what's going to bring that's going to bring online customers to you. And the other part of it is managing your relationships and building relationships. And those are the two ways that whether you're opening a bakery or you're a notary entrepreneur, those are the two ways you build business, from those two avenues. So you've got to start getting, thinking in that aspect, putting your sales and marketing hat on. And then doing the learning opportunities like Laura was talking about as well. The mock signings that she has to offer. Coming to this call, I think, is really important every day, to help you get out and learn new things. But
I can absolutely, I absolutely know that I can benefit from the mock signings.
yes,
That's something that I've been wanting to do. It's so
check that
much
out.
of this that I've been wanting to be a part of, but the opportunity is just really not there for me right now. And it's a little discouraging, but
You
I'm
have to go
hanging
make
in
the
there.
opportunity. You have to go find the opportunity, unless you want to just sign up for signing services and wait for business to come to you.
Yeah,
And
I've been waiting for so long, and I know that it's
And-
something else that I can do to get out there and just really make it
That's the thing
happen.
right now with mortgages being down, and signing services really only focus on mortgages. There's so many other things under the notary umbrella that you can look into, and ways to leverage your stamp to make money besides just doing loan signings. So spend a little time figuring out. In fact, the book that Laura was talking about at the top of the call, Beyond Loan Signings, that's a great book for you to read and really look into, where do you want to focus your time instead of just on mortgages? What else can you look at, to help you, use that stamp to make your money?
Right.
And
And just to give you a quick idea, and then I'm going to let you all move on, is of my character is once I was certified as a notary, I do notarizations for work, and I work for a law firm. So I did my first notarization, and I'm a take charge person. I go in there with confidence. I get everything started. I look at the paperwork. I I point out if this hasn't been completed, a signature is needed there, et cetera, et cetera. And the attorney's clients asked me, wow, you've been doing this a long time. I said, actually, this is my first one.
That's
But they
great.
were
What a
really
compliment.
impressed. Yeah, that was a huge compliment for me. And that's just how I work. If I have the confidence, then I go with that. I'm not
Love
going to
that.
pretend that I know what I don't know.
I love it. Carlin,
Yeah.
there's several links in the chat that I've put in there for you. I want you to open them up. They're all live links. And then after this call, I want you to start doing some digging and seeing where you can apply this knowledge and how you can get out there and make yourself known inside your community. Nina, did you have anything? I saw you nod your head. I didn't know if you had anything you wanted to add about building relationships.
It just takes time. And
It
don't
does.
give up. Don't
I
give up.
won't.
What did
Yeah,
I
I
read
don't.
the other day? The difference between a successful person um, and someone who hasn't reached that certain level of success is just consistency and time. That's the secret, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Don't give up. Don't give up. And there's plenty of programs for you to look at to see what you like that we put in the chat for you, Carlin. So take a look at those, like some pointers, because I know there's a lot of programs out there that people wonder, like, is this worth it? Is this good? The stuff we're recommending for you is tried, true, leaders with integrity. None of that wonder if they're going to be taking advantage of you kind of junk. So let us move on to some other questions. Thank you for that conversation, Carlin. That
Thank you.
was
Thank you.
awesome. Cynthia Jordan in Texas, what is your question for us?
And I wanted to know, so I got a alert for a signing, and I I put that I was available, and they sent me an email asking if I was Fidelity approved. And of course I said no. So I'm guessing that's how they do that. But I can remember, and I can't remember who, talking about more than one way of being Fidelity approved. So I'm trying to get information about that.
Laura, do you want to start with this or want me to take it?
Yeah, I can start. You can pick up with it. There's two levels, I would say. One is specific to the signing service that you work for, and you can work under that signing service for companies they serve for Fidelity. The other level is direct appointments with title companies who expect the notary to be verified or certified by Fidelity through their application process. And that usually requires to be nominated or recommended by a loan officer or somebody in order to get that process going. And they usually only do that with notaries who are experienced. So that's the basics. Jen, do you want to add anything to that?
Nope, that's it. Yeah, there's two ways in, under your signing service or through the signing service you're working with or services, Cynthia.
Yeah.
And then also through direct sponsorship from an escrow officer that is Fidelity approved. So if you've got someone that works at Fidelity that can help you that way, that's always the most surefire way. That puts you on their list that goes out to everybody in that region. The one on the signing service does not put you on the list. It just means that you're approved through that particular signing service. Does that answer your question, Cynthia?
Absolutely, because I heard it before and it's been a while ago, but
yeah,
I remembered that. I just didn't remember what the difference was. So
yep, that's
at that time it didn't affect me. So
you can go to bankserve.net.
Okay.
And they put that.
And they're a part of Fidelity.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think it's without the E at the end, bankserve.net.
That's right. Yeah, without
and you can apply for Fidelity approval through that.
Okay.
For the signing services. Thank you for that question, Cynthia.
All right.
Daniela
Thank you.
Stallone, where are you calling from? Hi, Daniela. Can you hear me?
Yes. I'm sorry. I was on double mute.
Oh, that's okay.
Hello.
Where are you
I'm
calling
calling
from?
Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Oh my God, my son was born there.
Oh,
At
yeah.
Gwinnett Medical Center, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I didn't have a question, but I had a shout out. I wanted to shout out the Gotary and NBB community. I
Oh,
received my first signing via a Gotary recommendation. It was
yay.
successful, and I just wanted to tell everyone, keep hope alive. The work comes to
Absolutely. So what Danielle is talking about is the Gotary platform, which is part of Notary Business Builder and part of the new certification that Bill, Laura, and I put out a few months ago called the Certified Notary Trust Delivery Agent Program. And we teach you, much like loan signings, right, Daniela? We teach you not only how to, in this certification, how to explain and recognize the finer points of the trust documents, but we take it a big step farther and we teach you how to partner with estate planning professionals in your area and work with them on different marketing opportunities to bring them and you business. And then we go even beyond that, and we have a directory that we are actively promoting to the attorney community nationwide. And what's happening is what Danielle is talking about. She is now getting jobs
Well,
from,
no, it wasn't. I'm sorry. So let me back up. I got to
okay.
work through Gotary, but it was for a signing. It was for a loan signing. But it was my
Oh,
first.
okay.
It was my first. So it wasn't. I am
Awesome.
certified, but it
We
wasn't
have
for the.
Notary is our loan signing partner on Gotary as well. So yeah, we definitely have different businesses that come through Gotaries that source their notaries directly from there. And the SEO is incredible. And I love that you got your first job. That's so
I
exciting.
did.
Thank you
So
for
yes, I was
sharing.
very excited. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. That's really cool. Jeanette, do you have another question for us?
Yes, I do. If I can go back to the young lady that was talking about the hospital experience with the person that she couldn't do it. Now, did I hear, because I'm in Michigan, I can do proxy and I know about the X. So can I add the fingerprint? Because I did buy a little fingerprint thing because the situation came up one time with a apostille. So is that something that I could use in addition to just the X when they're not physically able, the X and the proxy?
Yeah,
Can I add
the X, I mean, I guess I want everybody to know, everybody thinks it has to be an X. It doesn't have to be an X. It's just a mark. And that
well,
mark,
yeah, well, I'm saying X,
yeah,
but yeah.
but the mark, okay, but let me get to the whole thing. The mark can be anything, and an example of anything includes a fingerprint unless you are in a state that prohibits you from working with biometrics, right? There are a couple states like that. I think Montana's one, Texas, I think one. So those are the two states I know about. Michigan is not one. So the answer would be that yes, as a mark, if they can't manipulate a pen, then you could go to a print.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And Laura, I know we said we were we're about 1 minute in, and guys, we so that we don't have to cut people off mid-sentence, we want to really honor the time and not go over. So Celicia and Hina, I hope you bring your questions back to us next week so that we can answer that. I do want to just tell you guys very quickly before we hang up, there's a couple of events I want you to know about that are happening right now or very, very, very soon. Phil Shannon is our legal shield guy. He's on the call. I've posted in the chat. I'm going to post it one more time. If you would like to meet with Bill and learn about the opportunities in Legal Shield, not only to protect your business, but possibly to make some extra income, Phil hosts a call immediately after this, and he is going to tell you all about that. You can find information in the chat. And the other few things I'm going to tell you about are this Saturday. If you are in Texas, listen up. There is a notary review happening by the one and only Diana Hansen, she's amazing. She is hosting a review of the updated Texas laws this Saturday. Eventbrite is where you're going to find that. Please look in the chat, the Notary Kickoff. That's happening Saturday. The NNA conference, of course, is May 13th through 16th. And we want your votes for the NNA Influencer of the Year, the nominations. And we would love for you guys to nominate the one and only Bill Soroka. Look at that. Even Mama Mia, Laura's little dog, if she could,
Yes,
she
yes,
would,
vote
she would
for
vote for
Bill.
Bill.
Oh, there's Nina's dog. You guys see her?
Oh, where? Oh, look how cute. Oh, I'm dying. They're just so cute. So I want to thank our special guest, Nina Penny, for joining us today. Nina, it was a pleasure getting to learn a little bit more about you and show you off. I love showing off our faculty members to the TNT audience. Thank you for being here, Nina. Did you want to say anything before we go?
No, this is my little Nixa girl.
Oh, look how cute, and the bow and everything. I'm dying. It's so cute. Laura, anything before we head out?
Have a great and safe week.
Yes, I ditto that sentiment. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next Tuesday for TNT. Thank you.
Bye.